My friend, let me ask you a simple question. What if I told you that $10 million is already yours? Not tomorrow, not after years of toil. Now, in this moment. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to prove your worth. The only thing you must do is this. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Enter the world within and see yourself as the one who already has it. Feel it so vividly that your heart responds. Let the excitement, the confidence, the peace of abundance wash over you. Because in truth, you are not manifesting $10 million. You are revealing it. You see, the world you see outside is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your state of being. If you live in lack internally, lack will show up externally. But if you dwell in wealth within, wealth will come as naturally as the sunrise. So, how do you begin this $10.00 manifestation challenge? You begin by living from the end. Close your eyes. Picture yourself already living in that wealth. Not begging, not trying, but owning. Feel the texture of the life you desire. Smell the air of that freedom. Hear the laughter of financial peace echoing through your soul. Walk through the rooms of your ideal life in imagination until it becomes more real than what you see with your physical eyes. Do not ask how it will happen. That is not your concern. The how belongs to the power that responds to your inner conviction. Your only duty is to remain loyal to the unseen reality. Be unshakable in your faith. Be unmoved by appearances. Be steadfast in your inner knowing. You are not hoping for money. You are consciousness expressing wealth. What you accept as true inwardly will appear outwardly. It is a law. And so I challenge you not to struggle, not to hustle, not to wait for signs, but to assume, persist, and walk in the state of the $10.00 version of you right now. Speak like them, think like them, live like them, not someday, today. And soon the world will not be able to deny what you have known all along. It is already yours. The $10 million you desire is not something you must chase, strive for, or beg the world to give you. It is already within you, quietly waiting for your recognition. You are not trying to pull wealth from some distant corner of the universe, nor are you attempting to create it from nothing. Rather, you are unveiling what has always been yours, hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and false belief. You see, wealth is not an object. It is not paper. It is not metal. It is a state of being, a state of consciousness. And consciousness is the only reality. Everything in your external world is simply an echo of the inner state you occupy. The world, as you experience it, is a reflection, not a cause. It mirrors back to you your most dominant feelings and assumptions. This means that the money you seek is not out there somewhere in the economy or in someone else's bank account. It is not locked behind hard work or years of sacrifice. It lives in your awareness. Your job is not to create wealth from scratch. It is to align yourself with the consciousness of abundance so fully that the outer world has no choice but to conform. You may say, but I don't see the money, it's not in my account, I have bills, debts, responsibilities, and I say to you, look again, not with your eyes, but with your imagination. Look not at the present facts, but at the unseen truth. The truth is, if you can feel it within, if you can walk in the state of the one who has it, if you can taste the freedom of it, smell the air of that abundant life, and genuinely dwell there in your inner world, then it is already yours. The world must then play its part to bring it to pass. You are not a victim of chance. You are the operant power. You are the creator of your reality through the states you inhabit. So if you want $10 million, become the version of you who already has it. Think as they would think. Speak as they would speak. Spend as they would spend. In imagination, do not wait for the evidence created within. This is not make-believe. This is law. When you assume a state and persist in it, the world reshapes itself around you. Events, people, and circumstances will rise to meet the reality you have accepted inwardly. The outer world cannot help but reflect the inner conviction of the one who knows who they are. So understand this. You are not a poor person trying to get rich. You are a rich being awakening to your wealth. The $10.00 is not a goal, it is a mirror of your inner state. And when you know this with unwavering faith, the world bends in your favor, and what was once unseen becomes undeniable. You are simply remembering what has always belonged to you. To manifest $10 million, you must assume the feeling of already having it. This is not about hoping, wishing, or waiting. It is not about looking at your current situation and trying to figure out how you could ever get there. It is about stepping into the version of you who already has it and living from that state of being. It is about dwelling in the end mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as though the money is already yours. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not pretending. You are not playing a game of make-believe. You are aligning yourself with truth. Because what you feel consistently within, what you accept as real in your imagination, becomes real in the world around you. You do not need to know how it will happen. The how is not your concern. The bridge of incidents that brings the money to you will unfold naturally and effortlessly. Your only task is to remain faithful to the end result. So what does it feel like to have $10 million? Not to want it, but to possess it fully. Close your eyes and go there now. Imagine the relief, the freedom, the lightness in your chest. Imagine the kind of choices you would make, the way you would carry yourself, the things you would do or not do. Let that feeling fill you completely. It is not enough to think about having it, you must feel it. Feel it so deeply that your body responds. Your subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. And it is the subconscious that brings your world into form. Stop waiting for money to come before you give yourself permission to feel secure or powerful or generous. That is the great error. Instead, give yourself those feelings now. Choose to live in the reality where you already are the wealthy, abundant, prosperous version of you. Move through your day as though it were already true. Speak as if you already have more than enough. Make decisions with the confidence of someone who is no longer lacking. The inner state creates the outer condition, not the other way around. If you wish for wealth, you are affirming that you do not have it, and what you affirm consistently is what your reality will reflect. So stop wishing, start dwelling. Dwell in the state of the fulfilled desire. Walk in the reality where it is already done. Let the world catch up to your conviction. This is not about effort, it is about embodiment. You must become it before you see it. And when you do, when you truly and persistently assume the feeling of already having it, the outer world will bend to match your inner truth. The $10 million is not coming. It is already here. The moment you claim it inwardly, it begins to shape itself outwardly. The greatest mistake people make when trying to manifest their desires is allowing the outer world to dictate their inner state. They look at their bank account, their circumstances, and the opinions of others, and they waver. But if you are to bring forth $10 million or anything your heart longs for, you must understand this. Persistence trumps circumstance. The world is not your master, it is your servant. It reflects not what you want, but what you persist in believing. Your reality may appear completely unchanged. You may begin to assume the feeling of wealth, of abundance, of success, And yet nothing may seem to happen. In fact, things may even appear to get worse. But that is the test. The world is asking you, do you really believe it is done? Do you really believe you are who you say you are? Will you hold firm to your inner assumption, or will you return to your old identity the moment things seem difficult? You must understand this truth. What you persist in will harden into fact. It does not happen overnight, and it does not always happen in the way you expect. But it will happen if you persist. The outer world is slow to change, but it has no choice. It must obey the dominant feeling, the sustained assumption of your inner world. If you remain loyal to the state of already being wealthy, regardless of what the world shows you, it must eventually conform. Circumstances are meaningless unless you give them meaning. You may look at a zero balance and feel fear, or you may look at it and say, this has nothing to do with who I am. And that is the truth. Who you are is not defined by what appears, but by what you accept and persist in internally. Your reality is shaped not by facts, but by faith. Not blind belief, but loyalty to your unseen assumption. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual law. Everything that now exists in the world began first in imagination, in belief, in inner certainty. And if you persist in the inner knowing that you already have what you desire, your world must reflect it back to you. The bridge of incidents, the people, the opportunities, the ideas will appear when they must. But you cannot wait for the outer world to change before you believe. You must believe so firmly that the outer world has no choice but to bend. So persist. Persist when the world is silent. Persist when the bank account doesn't move. Persist when doubt whispers. Because every moment you stay faithful to your assumption, you are reconditioning your inner world, and the outer must follow. $10 million is not the reward for hard work. It is the result of unwavering persistence in the assumption that it is already yours. Ignore what the senses say. Trust the unseen. The world will catch up. It always does. When you begin to align yourself with the consciousness of wealth, the mind will immediately ask, how? How will the money come? How will this work out? How will I receive $10 million when I can't even pay my current bills? But the moment you start asking how, you slip out of your power and fall into doubt. The how is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to occupy the state of I am. The universe does not respond to strategy, it responds to identity. And identity begins with I am. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am free. This declaration is not just a phrase. It is the creative power itself. Everything in your world takes shape according to the state you claim with your I am. The moment you define yourself inwardly as the one who already possesses the wealth, the world begins to bend itself to reflect that truth. Do not let the logical mind distract you. It will try to pull you into details, calculations, and limitations. But those belong to the old state, the one you are leaving behind. The new state, the state of wealth, does not ask how, it knows. It is done. You are not required to figure out the steps. You are only required to remain faithful to the feeling of already having what you desire. This feeling will draw the right ideas, people, and paths into your life, often in ways your rational mind could never predict. You must drop the need for control. The desire to know every step is rooted in fear. But your inner world does not operate on fear, it operates on faith. When you say, I am wealthy, and you feel it deeply, something begins to shift. Your mood changes, your posture changes, your thinking changes, and slowly your reality starts to match this new vibration. But the shift only becomes permanent if you stay loyal to the I am and let go of the need to understand how it all comes together. Think of the seed planted in the soil. The farmer does not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. He waters it, tends to it, and trusts the process. Likewise, when you declare, I am rich, I am a millionaire, I am financially free, you are planting a seed in consciousness. Do not dig it up with doubt. Do not suffocate it with anxiety. Tend to it with feeling. Water it with gratitude. And most of all, let the unseen power take care of the unfolding. There is a great intelligence that moves all things, and it will organize the path in perfect order. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to believe it already has. Your inner conviction is the magnet, the engine, the silent cause of all manifestation. Remain in the state of I am, and the world must mirror it. Everything else will take care of itself. Imagination is not a childish escape. It is the divine workshop where all realities are shaped. Everything you now see in your world was once imagined by someone. The house you live in, the clothes you wear, the technology in your hands, all began as invisible images in someone's mind. So when you understand that your imagination is the real power, you no longer look to the outer world for confirmation. You look within, and you live from that place until it becomes what you call reality. To manifest $10 million, you must see yourself as the one who already lives that life. Not once, not occasionally, but consistently. You must imagine it so clearly that it begins to feel more real than the world around you. See yourself signing the deals. Feel the pen in your hand. Hear the tone of your voice, calm and confident. Walk through your dream home in your mind with the same certainty you do in waking life. Picture the travel, the freedom, the way you move through the world with ease and grace. Imagination is the preview of what's coming, but more than that, it is the force that causes it. When you enter a scene in imagination and repeat it until it evokes a real emotional response, you impress that image upon your subconscious. And it is the subconscious that governs your world. It orchestrates the people you meet, the events that unfold, and the timing of everything. The world reorders itself around what you continually imagine to be true. Most people use imagination passively, often negatively. They imagine worst-case scenarios, rejection, loss, and failure, and then wonder why life feels so heavy. But you can take control of this faculty. You can direct it consciously and deliberately. You can sit in a quiet moment, close your eyes, and construct the exact reality you wish to live. Not someday, but now. You must live in the end. Feel it completed. Walk in that scene daily until your inner world no longer doubts it. You do not need to force anything. Your only task is to remain loyal to the vision. If you can sustain the feeling of already having, the rest will follow. You will notice your thoughts changing. Your conversations will shift. New people will enter your life. And suddenly opportunities that once seemed impossible will feel natural, because you already rehearsed them 100 times in imagination. You are not pretending. You are creating. You are stepping into the version of you that already exists in the unseen. And if you persist, if you refuse to accept anything less in your inner world, your outer world must eventually reflect it. It cannot do otherwise. Imagination is not just a tool, it is the source. It is where all manifestation begins. If you would change your life, change what you see when you close your eyes. Make that vision so vivid, so real, so alive within you that the world has no choice but to catch up. Faith is not hoping something will happen. Faith is knowing it already has. It is complete loyalty to the reality that cannot yet be touched, seen, or measured with the senses, but is more real than anything the world can show you. The $10 million you desire already exists in the unseen. It is not being created. It is not far away. It is here now, vibrating in the invisible realm, waiting for you to claim it. And you do that through faith. Most people think reality is what they can see, hear, or touch. But everything seen was once unseen. Every structure, every invention, every success began as an invisible idea, unreal to the outer eye, yet vivid and alive in the mind of its creator. What brings that idea into form is not effort alone. It is not worry or waiting. It is sustained belief, faith. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the power that collapses possibility into form. When you say, I am wealthy, and truly mean it, even if your current reality contradicts it, you are exercising faith. You are declaring loyalty to the unseen reality, and the world must respond in time. But the test is always this: will you remain loyal when nothing seems to be happening? The moment you shift your focus from faith to fear, from inner knowing to outer facts, you step out of the state that creates. Doubt is simply faith in the wrong direction. It is loyalty to what you don't want. So you must train yourself daily to return to the truth of your desire, not as something distant, but as something already done. Feel the reality of having $10 million, not with strain, but with quiet certainty. Walk with the assurance that it's already yours. Let your decisions reflect that state. Let your posture, your speech, your habits mirror the life of the person who already possesses great wealth. Not arrogantly, but confidently, faithfully, in alignment with what you know deep within. You are not waiting for the world to give you permission to believe. You are not waiting for proof. You are creating the proof by believing. Your faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the invisible material from which all form takes shape. Trust the invisible more than the visible. Trust your inner vision more than your bank account. Trust the quiet voice within you more than the noise of the world, because the world is delayed. It reflects who you were, not who you are now becoming. The unseen moves first. Reality only follows. Remain loyal to the feeling of already having. That is the only work. Not fixing, not chasing, just unwavering inner certainty. And as you dwell there, calm, assured, immovable, the $10, M must come. It is already done. Faith is your proof. The rest will unfold perfectly. You have now been given the blueprint, not to chase wealth, but to awaken it. The $10 M is not a distant goal, but a present reality waiting for your recognition. You are not here to struggle, to strive, or to beg. You are here to remember that you are the operant power. Everything you seek is seeking you, because it already exists in the unseen. When you persist in the feeling of already having, when you imagine boldly, trustfully, and remain loyal to that unseen truth, nothing can stop the manifestation from unfolding. You are not required to know how. You are only required to assume the state, feel it real, and hold fast to it regardless of what appears. Your inner world is the true cause. Persist there, and the world will follow. Thank you for walking this journey of remembrance. Thank you for daring to believe in something greater than your senses. Thank you for standing firm in faith, in imagination, and in the quiet knowing that it is already done. Now, go within and claim it.